whoever you are, come, 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 whoever you are, come, 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 whoever you are, come, 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 whoever you are, come, come, wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving, it doesn't matter, ours is not a caravan of despair. Come, come, whoever you are, come, 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 even if you have broken your vow 1,000 times. Come, even if you've been waiting for a miracle to come. Just come, come, whoever you are. Come, 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 whoever you are. Come, just come, come, whoever you are. Come, 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 whoever you are. Come, come.
Shuva, 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 yet again come. Shuva, 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 yet again come. Oh, shuva, 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 yet again come. Oh, shuva, 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 yet again
Whoever you are, whoever you are. Come, come, whoever you are, come, 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 wanderer, worshipper, lover of leaving, it doesn't matter, ours is not a caravan of despair. Come, come, whoever you are, come, 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 Whoever you are, whoever you are. Whoever you are, come, 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 whoever you are, come, 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 whoever you are, come, 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 whoever you are, come, come, wanderer, worshipper, ours is not a caravan of despair. Come, come, whoever you are, come, 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 whoever you are, come, 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 whoever you are, come, come. Whoever you are, come, come, come. Even if you have broken your vow 1,000 times, come. Even if you've been waiting for a miracle to come, just come. Whoever you are, come, 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 whoever you are, come, just come, come, whoever you are, come, 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 whoever you are, come, come. Shuva, Shuva, Shuva. Shuva, Shuva, yet again come. Shuva, 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 yet again come. Oh, Shuva, 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 yet again come. Oh, Shuva, whoever you are. Whoever you are, come, 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 whoever you are, come, 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 whoever you are, come, 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 whoever you are, come, come, wanderer, worshipper, doesn't matter, ours is not a caravan of despair. Come, come, whoever you are, come, 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 whoever you are, come, 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 whoever you are, come, come. Come, come, whoever you are, come, 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 even if you have broken your vow 1,000 times. Come, even if you've been waiting for a miracle. Whoever you are, whoever you are. Whoever you are, come, 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 whoever you are, come, 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 whoever you are, come, 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 whoever you are, come, come, wanderer, worshipper, doesn't matter, ours is not a caravan of despair. Come, come, whoever you are, come. whoever you are, come, come. Come, come, whoever you are, come, come. Come, come, whoever you are, come, come. Come, even if you have broken your vow 1,000 times. Come, even if you've been waiting for a miracle to come. Just come, come, whoever you are. Come, 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 whoever you are. Come, just come, come, whoever you are. Come, 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 whoever you are. Come, come.
Shuva, 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 yet again come. Shuva, 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 yet again come. Oh, shuva, 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 yet again come. Oh, shuva, 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 yet again come.
From the rest of the congregation. The tigers are in the house.
Hi, tigers.
How's the puppy? He or she is named after the Filer Yopi and the Gluckman Yopi. Many Yopis, many Yopis. Shabbat Shalom, everyone who's here. Shabbat Shalom to all of you who are joining us in our live stream access. So happy to have an enlarged congregation, people who are here to worship together, to be united in heart and spirit. So we'll begin with Psalm 133. It is good. It is good to be together.
Hine, 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 hine. Hine, 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 hine.
Let's do that again. Join us.
Hine, 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 hine. Hine, 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 hine.
We're saying, here I am. And whether you are here with us at this moment or joining us on Facebook or YouTube, we feel you, we feel your presence. Join with us, sing with us, be together with us.
Hine, 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 hine. Hine, 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 hine,
Hine mato.
hine mato umanai. Hine mato umanai.
Again.
Hine mato umanai. Hine mato umanai.
Over the last year, we haven't had the opportunity to make harmony with one another in conventional ways, but tonight we're able to. You get to choose whether you want to sing Hine Hine with Kim or Hine Matov with me. We're going to make harmony together.
Hine mato umanai. טוב ומה נעים, הנה מה טוב ומה.
What does that mean in English? Here we go.
How good and pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to come together in peace and in unity. How good and pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to come together in peace and in unity.
If you've got that, join us.
How good and pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to come together in peace and in unity. How good and pleasant it is for brothers and sisters to come together in peace and in unity.
I'd like to invite my family to the bima to lead us in the candle blessing.
Pages 2 and 3 in your prayer books.
As these Shabbat candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel will kindle light, so may we in our day be among those who kindle light.
Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher kidshanu b'mitzvotav, v'tzivanu lechadlikneh shel Shabbat.
The mystics in welcoming Shabbat would not only open their doors, but they would venture outside, just like we are this evening. So as we're outside, let's look around as we sing Lecha Dodi, and let's look for Shabbat, and let's ask Shabbat to join us.
page 26.
Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabba.
Amen.
V'yamad yivrach yirtei v'yamlich malchutei v'chayechon uv'yomechon uv'chayei d'chol Beit Yisrael. Bagala, bagala, uv'izman kariv v'emeru Amen. Yehei shmei Rabba mevorach le'olam l'almei almaya yitbarach. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpar v'yitraman v'yitnaseh v'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudashach brechu leila min kol birchata v'shirata tushbechata v'nechemata damiran be'alma v'emeru Amen. Baruch et Adonai HaMevorach.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed.
Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher bidvara ma'ariv olavim b'chokhmah poteach sha'arim uv'tvuna mishaneh itim umachalif et hazmanim umsader et hakochavim b'mishmerotechem barakia kurtzono borei yom v'layla golel or mipnei choshech v'choshech mipnei or umavir yom umevi laila umavdil ben yom uvein laila Adonai tzvaot shemo El chai v'kayam tamid yimloch aleinu leolam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai hama'ariv aravim.
Page 32.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto, Leolam Va'ed. V'ahavta et Adonai Eloheinu, תברכך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך וחיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך ושיננתם לבניך ודיברת בם בשבתך בביתך ובלכתך בדרך ובשוכבך ובקומך וקשרתם לאות על ידיך והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים אני אדוני אלוהיכם אדוני אלוהיכם אמת.
Please join me responsively on page 39. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way. Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces. Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed. Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea.
words and my tears I drown, but I never let it get me down. So when negativity surrounds, I know someday it will all turn around, because all my life I've been waiting for, I've been praying for the people to say that we don't want to fight no more. There'll be no more wars, and our children will play. One day, 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 Elohim Shalom, one day,
Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright. Everything's gonna be alright, 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 alright. Alright, 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 alright.
Page 44.
Hashamayim ve'et haaretz v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat la'asot et haShabbat le'dorotam berit olam u'bayom hashvi'i Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash Shabbat vayinafash v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat la'asot et haShabbat le'dorotam berit olam v'shamru b'nei Yisrael et haShabbat la'asot et haShabbat le'dorotam berit olam.
Adonai Sifatai Tivta Ufia Gita Hilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu v'Imotenu, Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanorah, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, V'konei Hakol, V'zocher Chasdei Avot v'Imahot, U'mevi Gula Livnei V'neihem, L'man Shemo B'Yachava, Melech Hozer U'Mashiach U'Magen, Baruch atah
Adonai
Magen Avraham, Bezrat Sarah. Ata Kibor Le'olam Adonai, Mechayim Metim Atarav Lehoshia, Morid Hata, Mechalkel Chayim Bechesed, Mechayim Metim Berachamim Rabim, Somech Noflim Verofei Cholim, Umatir Asurim, Umekayem emunato lishenei afar michamocha bal gevurot umido melach melech memit umechaye umatzmiach Yeshua v'ne'eman ata lecha chayot metim baruch atah Adonai Machayeh hametim, Ata kadosh v'shimcha kadosh, u'kadoshim b'chol yom yehalelucha selah, Baruch atah Adonai ha'el hakadosh.
At the bottom of page 55, the meaning of Shabbat is to celebrate time rather than space. 6 days a week, we live under the tyranny of things in space. On Shabbat, we try to become attuned to the holiness of time. It is a day on which we are called to share to share in what is eternal in time, to turn from the results of creation to the mystery of creation, from the world of creation to the creation of the world. This is the time in our service where there's a prayer for gratitude, but I thought we would compose our own prayer of gratitude right now on the spot. So what are you grateful for, people? And those of you who are joining on the live stream, put it in the chat. What are we grateful for in this moment, right now? We're grateful for smiles, to see people's faces enough and see them smiling. Grateful for hugs. Grateful for good health. Grateful for family. The whole family. Grateful for music. Grateful for books. A bag of books. Could be better. Grateful to be able to pray in the open space together. Amen to that. Grateful for medical science. Amen. And the people who are practicing. Buffy. Grateful for new members here tonight. Raise your hand if you're a new member. Welcome, welcome. Oh, great. Grateful for leadership and, yeah, thank you. I'm grateful for the team, too.
We're grateful for you.
I'm grateful to have kids who are home from being away for the summer and from abroad and just collecting back, grounding in. Robin, were you going to say something? Grateful for the ways that we kept each other together because it was a team effort. For sure, and grateful for all the people who continue to keep signing on and joining in and doing however you're doing it in your pajamas with your glass of wine on your couches. It's awesome, but we want to see you too. And a shout out to Kevin for figuring it all out and helping us stay connected. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Kevin.
And Len Levi, who learned the system and has been assisting.
And their families who helped.
And their families for
A
giving
lot.
them up every Friday and lots of Saturdays. And the people keeping us safe. Thank
Nick.
you.
Thank you.
Well, we'll say the Chatima, the blessing, for our blessing of gratitude. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha ulechana el hodot. Blessed are you, your name is goodness, and you are worthy of all our thanksgiving. Amen. We join in our prayer for peace. Shalom Rav.
Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Ki ata hu melech Adon lecho hashalom. Ki ata hu melech Adon Shalom, Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha Tasim Leolam. V'tov b'neinecha livarech et Amcha Yisrael b'chol עת ובכל שעה Shalom Rav al Yisrael Amcha tasim leolam. Shalom Rav al Yisrael amcha, tasim leolam, tasim leolam, tasim leolam.
At this time, we offer blessings of healing to all of those people who are in need. We'll be singing a version that uses the words that Moses sang when his sister Miriam fell ill. El na rafana la. It's just, please, God, heal her. And then we add rafana lanu and heal us. So that's the chorus. El na rafana la, rafana lanu. And then it's a back and forth. So all y'all will have the slides, and we will do it without the slides. Just have to feel into it. And we'll call these people to mind. Happy Anderson and Chris Argall, Nancy Ash, Mindy Beller, Chanalea Bat Devora, Betty Cohen, Amy Cooper, Shar DeGrave, Harvey and Susan Filer, Andrew Fisher, Dean Gavney, Jacob and Roger Gluckman, Gabby Goldberg, Linda and Warren Godcharles, Stuart Goodman, Alicia Good, Ramesh Gupta, Bert Horowitz, Laurel and Wally Jonas, Miles Kellum, Jean Nofel, Chris Kuntz, Michael Lidikin, Bill Rockamora, Bert Rothman, Jim Rudisil, Deborah Sanders, Julie Sherman, Shoshana Slatke, Matthew Treehub, Bob Ward, Marlene Wexelblatt, Steve West. And are there additional names that we'd like to share, Leslie? Donna Wade. All of those who are remembered in the chat online, please join.
Dear God of our ancestors,
Dear God of our ancestors,
help us renew our faith.
help us renew our faith.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Grant us a perfect healing.
Bring peace to all our days.
Bring peace to all our days.
El na refana la, refana lanu. El na refana la, refana lanu. Restore our strength of body.
Restore our strength of body.
Help clarify our mind.
Help clarify our mind.
Refresh our tired spirit.
Refresh a tired spirit.
Rejuvenate our life.
Rejuvenate our lives.
El na refana la, refana lanu.
Thank you for all these blessings.
Thank you for all these blessings.
Throughout our days and nights,
Throughout our days and nights,
we celebrate the
we
journey.
celebrate the journey.
This precious gift of life.
This precious gift of life.
El na refana lanu.
Please God heal us.
El na refana lanu. El na refana lanu.
We add to this moment of healing a blessing in honor of our newest federal holiday, Juneteenth, with gratitude for the inspiration for this blessing from Ben the Ark. Creator of life, source of compassion, your breath remains the source of our spirit, even as too many of us cry out that we cannot breathe. Despite being lovingly created in your image, Black lives have been pursued by hatred, abandoned by indifference, and betrayed by complacency. We understand that Black lives and all lives are sacred, inherently valuable, and irreplaceable. And we know that to oppress the body of the human is to break the heart of the divine. We yearn for a day when the bent will stand straight. We pray that the hearts of our country will soften to centuries-long pain. And we will do the work to bind up the wounds, to heal the shattered hearts, to break the yoke of oppression wherever it expresses itself. As the beauty of the heavens is revealed to us each day, may each day reveal to us the beauty of our common humanity. And let us say, Amen. We share a few moments now in silence.
Shalom, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'i
Od Yavo Shalom, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Od Yavo Shalom, Od Yavo Shalom Aleinu, Shalom, Aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael ve'imeru, ve'imeru, Amen. Ose Shalom bimroma, hu yaseh Shalom, Aleinu
Shala sha shala la la lo. Yase sha shalom ve'imeru amen. Yase sha shalom. Shala sha shala la la lo. Yase sha shalom ve'imeru amen.
I offered that he could do the Dvar Torah if he wanted to. So I really have more questions tonight than answers, but I'll teach a little Torah and leave you with some thoughts. So this week begins, the Torah portion opens with a very mysterious ritual, which is that there's supposed to be a red cow that's never had a yoke on it or given birth or anything like that. And they're supposed to burn it up and mix it with a bunch of stuff, and the ashes are supposed to purify somebody who has touched or come into contact with a dead body, a corpse. And so the ashes reverse the spiritual status of somebody who is defiled because coming into contact with death is considered a defilement, a ritual impurity. And what the rabbis say about this is that it's one of the quintessential mitzvot or obligations that we have as a people that is without reason. We wouldn't have come to it on our own. And even it says in the Midrash that King Solomon, who was wise beyond wise, could not figure it out. Couldn't figure out why this. He was stumped by it. So one might think that in the middle of this whole narrative, remember last week we were on Korach, and the week before we were on the spies, and the week before they were on the gluttony of the doves and coming out of their noses and things. And we might think that this mysterious injunction comes out of nowhere, except that when we're really paying attention, we should understand or be able to see into the text that this is coming close to the time when we know that all of the Israelites who left Egypt were going to die, and only a new generation was going to be permitted to go in. And so the rabbis say that they actually needed this mechanism to deal with all the death that was surrounding them, because that was what was happening. It was a turning over of the generations. And that this ritual, this ability to neutralize the contamination of death was necessary in order for the people to be able to execute all of the functions that God was demanding of them and their spiritual lives. It is fascinating that this contaminant, which is death, we get this. We learn that people are going to die when? Way back in the Garden of Eden, when they eat from the fruit, and that's one of the punishments, is that we don't get to live forever. And it's funny that contaminant could be healed by the same creature as what was the image that the Israelites chose to use when they sinned the worst, which was with the golden calf, right? So here's a mama cow who's supposed to heal that terrible, terrible sin of the calf in some way. There's a connection there. It's also interesting that this portion is one of 4 portions, or this piece of this portion is read at another time of year, which is in 4 Shabbatot that are prior to Pesach, that prepare us for Pesach. And that's because you couldn't offer the Paschal offering if you were ritually defiled by a corpse. And so, to remind you how you get good to be able to offer your paschal offering, we also read this in preparation for Passover as a special additional portion. And the haftarah that is associated with that comes from the book of Ezekiel, which also introduces this idea that that it's not just that death is a ritual contaminant, or that something is going on that is deeper than just about death, that there's a moral contaminant that we're worried about in this thinking of this red heifer, because what Ezekiel is pointing to is that they are doing something wrong, and that God is going to come and cleanse them and give them new hearts and new spirits, which you might remember from the prophets. In similar ways, I think in surviving a pandemic, we've also been living with awareness about dangerous contaminants in our midst that can harm us and harm our community. And we've had to be vigilant about not being spreaders, and we've had to figure out how to protect the health and well-being of our community. And it made me think that while COVID has been an obvious impurity for us to worry about collectively, that there are also, even as we come out, there are other contaminants floating around us that are endangering us as a community. And I'm thinking about the people in the Southwest who are very hot and are running out of water and can't use electricity because of the extremeness of climate change. Just one expression of that. We have a lack of trust in our political system and its institutions. We have security here because there's a rise in anti-Semitism that is getting all wrapped up in our love for Israel. And we have to contend with white nationalism on our home front. These are just the ones that come to the top of my mind. And I invite you to think about what else there might be. But more importantly than wondering what the moral and spiritual contaminants that we need to worry about is, what are the ways, and this was inspired a little bit by Benjamin's Devar from tomorrow, but mostly by Jenny Mercer, who gave a Devar Torah from here in 2017. What is our red heifer today? What is the mechanism by which we can neutralize these contaminants? How are we going to fix these things that can harm our society and harm our world? And Jenny's, I'll just remind you in case you don't remember, but Jenny's answer was aggressive love. I thought that's a great answer, so I'm repeating it. I actually invited her to redo her Devar Torah and offer it tonight, but she's with family, so. But I also thought about civic engagement. I thought about changes in our patterns with regard to our impact on the world. I think we need to think about reviving something like a red heifer, something in our own lives that we know is the thing that we pull out to say, this is not going to spread right here. Our mask, or whatever it is. So that is question and thought-provoking idea number one. I also remember just a couple of years ago in this very amphitheater, I handed out a piece of paper with like 20 different reasons why the commentators decided that Moses deserved to not go into the promised land because he hit the rock instead of speaking to it like he was told. And I made everybody get into groups and pick which one they liked the best. I'm not going to make you do that tonight. But I heard a magnificent shiur, which means a Torah lesson, from Aviva Zornberg this week. And it was beautiful what she came up with. So, here it is. When God told Moses, so this happened way back in Exodus. So Moses remembers that once upon a time the people were complaining that there was no water. And God said, pick up your staff and hit the rock and the water will come out. And so Moses picked up the stick and he hit the rock and the water came out and everything was good. But this time, remember, it's a different generation of people. It's a new leaf. It's a new era, which is going to require something different. So when God said to Moses, take your staff out, and by the way, the staff was actually retired into the Mishkan. It was no longer being used. It hadn't been used since way back, so it was just hanging out inside the tabernacle. And so Moses is supposed to take it out, stand with it, but speak to the rock. So Moses goes out and he remembers, oh, last time I hit it, so he hit it. And then God gets mad and says, you didn't do the right thing in front of the people and inspire faith in them. And what Aviva Zornberg was saying was that the staff was an instrument of war and power, right? It's the staff that Moses hits the Nile River and it turns into blood. It's the staff that Moses holds up in his hands while the Israelites are battling with the tribe of Amalek. It's a staff that's about warring and power and exerting power over others. And that might have been the right instrument with the previous generation, but it wasn't with the new generation. The idea was that God wanted to start something, a different dynamic. And that was the reason why Moses was so off and not getting with the program. He was still in the previous, he was still acting from the old ways. He was still in his old patterns. And so the question that arises for me around that in this moment of coming out of a very strange time and understanding that we're in a new period of our own development, our own history, our own making of life. You know, what are the new ways we want to be in relationship? What are the new ways that might be important for us to be connected or not with family, with our community, with our work lives, with time, with making plans? How do we hold life in a different way and not fall into the patterns that may not work still for us? How do we retire the staff and make our mouths and our hearts and our bodies do something else that might be better, or at least meet the moment more skillfully? So those are my questions, and I bet you have really great answers. And you can share them with me after services. And I thank you for listening. And Benjamin has a really nice Devar Torah, so you should sign on tomorrow, or you guys will be lucky enough to hear it in person. So we continue and conclude our service by rising for Aleinu, which you can find in your prayer books on page 282.
Aleinu l'shabech l'adon hakol, latet gedula l'yotzer breshit, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצון, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהל, וגורלנו ככוח המונה. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים, הקדוש ברוך הוא.
ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד, ושמו אחד.
The thing is to love life, to love it even when you have no stomach for it, and everything you've held dear crumbles like burnt paper in your hands, your throat filled with the silt of it. When grief sits with you, its tropical heat thickening the air, heavy as water, more fit for gills than lungs. When grief weights you down like your own flesh, only more of it, an obesity of grief, you think, how can a body withstand this? Then you hold life like a face between your palms, a plain face, no charming smile, no violet eyes, and you say, yes, I will take you. I will love you again. Our thoughts turn now to all those who have departed, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and our neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives are a blessing to humanity. We mention by name Tom Gosnell, cousin of Eric Neymark, whom death has recently taken from us, and these who died at this season in years past: Gary Arbeiter, Eugene Argall, Michael Argall, Phil Cohen, Lloyd Cooper, Mary DeRoos, Art DeJoux, Martha Elner, Edna Feldstein, Yetta Green, Shirley Henschel, Geraldo Kempenich, Alfred Klein, Maurice Herman Letterman, Kathy Haber Margaritoff, Patricia Missig, Irving Nathan, Shirley Niger, Edna Wyman Ruth, Charlotte Schoenthal, Rose Skolnick, Evelyn Stern, Joanne Atwater Walker, Sylvia Weissman, Norman Willis, and Joseph Wolfson. Are there additional names to add in memory this evening? And we think of all of those who have been mentioned in the chat. If you are here in mourning, I invite you to rise so that we might acknowledge you. And I invite the congregation to turn with you to page 294 and join and support you in saying the Mourner's Kaddish, thanking God for the gifts of life and memory. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shemei Rabbah, ve'alma divrach chirutei ve'amlich malchutei, v'chayechon v'yomechon v'chayei dechol be'Yisrael, ba'ala u'bizman kariv v'imru amen. Yehei shmei Rabbah mevorach le'olam me'omaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yithadar v'yitalev v'yitalal shemei dekudesha b'reichu le'ula min kol birchata shirata tush bechata v'nechemata
Dami Ron Vilma V'Yamru Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shemaya V'Chayim Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Yamru Amen. Oseh Shalom V'Rma Hu Yaseh Shalom Aleinu V'Al Kol Yisrael V'Yamru Amen.
May I suggest to you, may I suggest this is the best part of your life. May I suggest this time is blessed for you. This time is blessed and shining almost blinding bright. Just turn your head and you'll begin to see the thousand reasons that were just beyond your sight. The reasons why I suggest to you, why I suggest this is the best part of your life. This is a song, comes from the west to you, comes from the west, comes from the slowly setting sun, with a request of you, to see how very short the endless days will run. And when they're gone, and when the dark descends, we'd give anything for one more hour of light. And that is why I suggest to you, why I suggest this is the best part of your life. May I suggest to you, may I suggest this is the best part of your life.
Shabbat Shalom. My name is Gaia Goldman. I'm here this evening representing the Temple's Board of Trustees. Welcome, everybody. Hi, Annie. I will start by asking Benjamin to please come up. Benjamin, I have some presents for you. And the fact that your date had to be rescheduled caused you to have to wait extra long for these presents. So I know that one, you're really looking forward to getting them, and two, you have no idea what's in these, right? Remember, you can't lie. Rabbi's right there. So, but we'll start with these really cool gifts here, starting with your bar mitzvah certificate signed by Rabbi and Seth. Look what a work of art that is. It is suitable for framing, and it's mandated that you hang it in your dining room. That's the rule. So parents, even more exciting, or perhaps as exciting, is this $250 gift certificate that will get you to Israel. So hope you'll get to use that soon. And then from Sisterhood, a Kiddush cup, so that you can celebrate Shabbat wherever you are as you grow up, and a Tanakh from Brotherhood to continue your education. You can go back and sit down. Thanks. All right, and I have some announcements. First I wanted to thank Rabbi, Seth, and Kim for the service this evening. Thank you. And lots here to share with you. As you know, because you're here, and for those of you at home, we are reopening the temple in limited capacity for services during the month of June. There is, my memory serves me right, one more Friday where this applies to vaccinated temple members. Please see your email on how to register to join us in person next week. For a service, it'll be in the sanctuary next week. It really is fantastic to be back here together in person. And if you have been able to attend a service already, be mindful of others registering for this next week so that everyone has a chance to come to Temple who wants to come to Temple in June. Our annual meeting is next Tuesday, June 22nd. It's coming up. This year, we are having our meeting in person. There will be no Zoom, so we want you to come here and let us see your faces off screen. You register through ShulCloud, and we will open the doors at 5:30, start the meeting promptly at 6 o'clock. But at 5:30, we'll have drinks and schmoozing and an opportunity to see each other. And if you can't come, we hope that you'll send in your proxy. Each year at this time, we ask that our members reaffirm their support to the Temple through the Fair Share commitment. On Wednesday, Buffy sent out the link to complete your Fair Share online. Hopefully you've received it. It is important to our Temple operations that you get these filled out and sent in as soon as possible. And if you have any questions, please contact Buffy in the office. We're ever so grateful for your ongoing commitment to our community. Religious school may be over, but summer midweek Hebrew registration is live for those religious school students who would like to stay sharp and maybe work towards a golden kippah or rainbow yad over the summer. Lastly, come out to the ballpark. Brotherhood's annual gathering at the Asheville Tourist Baseball game is July 21st. Everyone is invited. All tickets are $9 and payment info is in your Tuesday email. And in closing, please take a to-go-neg bag from the Bernsteins. Thank you all for bringing that, and Shabbat Shalom.
It's time for our last song. Didn't Benjamin do a fantastic job tonight?
Oh, yes.
I, for one, am very excited to learn from him, to get to share in the mitzvah of listening to the reading of Torah tomorrow. So join us. And join us for Kiva Moed. So rise up in your hearts or in your feet for our closing song.
The time is now. That's what that means. Right now.
Shabbat Shalom.